Go to TAPgiles.com to learn dreams, engage my services, and support the channel.
Shall we see if we can do one of those transition things? Where'd they go? Over here. Let's grab that and put it in here. So this should lead up to the transition, and that should come down from the transition afterwards, sort of thing. So we could say if we transition up to a higher thing, then we'll play this transition thing. So I'm going to put this on a timeline. Put these in there, and then have that lined up. There you go. So this part is going to play, if I just play it, let's find out. Yeah, so as it gets towards the end, it starts playing that, and then it plays that. So let's actually set this to once mode. So if it tries to play at all, it will play to the end. So let's find out. So it carries on playing that fully. We'll leave that off, just like with these other parts, and then we'll use a keyframe to turn it on. So let's just try that out. Like that. Now, if you turn it on right near the end there, though, it kind of suddenly cuts on. So if we use some slow power up and try that, that sounds okay. Let's try it again. So it's kind of sounded a bit weird, but it's a lot better than just cutting in. So that's cool. So we actually want that to happen if we are trying to change to a higher number. So we know what the current number is, it's coming out from here. We know what the number is we want to go to, so we'll just compare those two. So we get a calculator, and let's wire the current number into here and the desired number into here, and see if the current number is less than the desired number. And if it is, we'll turn that on. So see, now because it's changed, it's on the current number, so that's fine, and it won't try and do that. But if we're during this row, or the last row I think, there you go. So what we could do is only allow it to change on one of these longer bars. I think that might be okay. So let's just adjust that to be every 2, and then move that along, and then we can copy this to here. So during this point it will try and turn that one on, during that point it will try and turn that one on, and we'll start on 0, so that one won't trigger unless we try and go up, but now we're trying to go down, so it won't trigger the next one. Let's wait until we get past there. Oh, it played anyway. I think we'll put this one, put them just on sustain and see how that works. And then we can adjust this second one to being in once mode, so it should still catch the second clip, and then it should just play all the way through, even though the timeline is cut off. So let's put that on once mode as well. We want this to power the second one only, and we not want another keyframe to affect the first one only, like that. And so to pick which one we actually want to use, we'll add in a timeline over here, and then we can put those keyframes in that new timeline. And this is the one for the second transition, so we'll put that in the second half. This is the one for the first transition, so we'll put this in the first half. Like that. And now we can just power that timeline directly if we're trying to change up. Right, so if we try and change up, it powers that timeline, which powers the right keyframe. And now the other keyframe isn't on at all, because the timeline's off and the keyframe isn't on. Now we'll try and change up again. Now that keyframe is turning that timeline on, so that transition happened. But yeah, it kind of didn't play through because of the timeline. So I think I'll just cheat and move that along a little bit. Like that, so that it catches the start of that one. Like that. Now it works. So you can do stuff like that. You can time how different parts in here are affected in different times, but only have that stuff work when particular things happen with the intensity part and things like that. So there's lots of different things you can do with this, but it's a fairly simple principle. Just have these different layers for the intensity stuff, and then have it trigger at the right time, and have these extra effects come in only when necessary. That. You could go further and say if the desired intensity is above a certain threshold, then you allow this stuff to happen. So if I use another timeline and plug that into there, this will be like the next intensity we'll have. This is the current intensity, and we can say normally it doesn't try and do that transition unless that keyframe's on. And that keyframe's on only in the higher modes of intensity, like that. So now the intensity is like higher, but it's not high enough to trigger this. And now it is. So then it plays the transition, and so on and so forth. It's kind of limitless how much stuff you can do with it.
Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something interesting. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to learn something new every day.